So our theme this week has kind of been the elements of art and the principles of design. And boy, oh boy, today might be the best one of them. I'll show you all professional ones compared with Auburn High School ones. And man, I just feel like you guys are faring fairly well against the professional. Let me just show you. Okay, I'm going to do the share screen. First of all, very quickly, elements of art are like building blocks to use in your projects and like weapons used to fight against your projects. So like using line, color, space, shape, form, texture, things like that, that you can utilize to make your project just better, just to enhance it. Things that you don't necessarily need is accessories that make your project better. And then the principles of design, if these are blocks on the left, these are walls on the right. Things that if you use the elements of art correctly, you can establish these cool things on the right, unity and emphasis and movement, pattern, things like that. It's fun to start a pattern and break it. Proportion, like you can do things off proportion, like make some things excessively large or excessively small. Okay, that's enough talking about it. So here's some professional examples. Line. They used line in a very cool way here. You know, people don't literally sit on heartbeats, but they made it happen. They used the line to enhance their project. Here's lines on an Auburn University poster. They just used like almost like the football helmet lines or stripes, right? Auburn High School. Here's one by a student in the level 1 class recently where the line goes behind the guy, in front of the guy, behind the guy, in front of the guy, things like that. That's just cool. It makes it, whereas, you know, if someone were not going to stop and turn and look at it before, they probably will now, that kind of thing. Scale or altering size. Let me stop doing the share screen. Like this, tiny person, giant frog, or oh, there's a little bitty person and a giant boot. Is things you can change the size of things to make people stop and look. Okay, so here's some examples. What? She's sitting on a prescription pill bottle? Well, she must be very small, or that bottle is very large. They're messing with scale, size. Wait a minute, are these people very small, or is she a giant? I don't know. But the point is, it looks cool. It'll make people stop and look. Here's one. I love this. We just don't think about doing letters like this very often, but they made the case so big that you can't help but look at it. Usually we type things like at the bottom where it says join the chant. We're used to that. Type in a way that makes sense. This K is so big it doesn't make sense. But boy, it looks cool. An Auburn High School version. This was done by a student also in level 1 where the person's just so big that they don't fit on the page. But here's the thing. It looks cool. Which player is it? I don't know. And I guess that's part of the point. It's a general person. It could represent anyone on the team. You know, this person represents the entire team. So another one is emphasis. This part, I would argue, is emphasized because it stands out. Everything else is clean. It's like a great, nice photograph. This is very rough and rigid and intentionally, I think, it's ripped out. It makes you look there almost first. That part's kind of emphasized. Here's another one. Everything, for the most part, is black and white, except for the basketball that's in orange. And that's kind of emphasis, right? And so here's another one where everything basically is black and white except for the message. You know, I mean, and the logo, I suppose. But, you know, it's emphasized, their message is. So in Auburn High School version, you know, of course, there's exceptions, but basically everything's black and white except for our logo. Our logo really stands out here. Kind of lets it shine. Lets it be the star of the show. That's what emphasis is. Contrast is another one. This guy looks like a preppy guy, but then for whatever reason, he looks like he's going to smash somebody with a medieval weapon. I don't know. I don't watch this show, but that's contrast for you. Here's one in color, in black and white. Right? It's just contrast. I assume, you know, he's one way by day, one way by night. Oh, he seems to do this job, but actually he's a spy. You know, that kind of thing. Here's one, blurry and focused, happy and sad. They're utilizing contrast for effect. That's a great idea. Here's another, both color and quality contrast. You know, one of them is a photograph. One of them's kind of artificial intelligence, kind of technological gizmo stuff. One side's red, one side's green. That's contrast. Here's another one where, I mean, darkness and light, basically. The background is dark, and they put a lens flare in the middle. You know, it's all either black or yellow, dark or light. And Auburn High School, what? Look at that. It's like neon. That's pretty doggone good contrast. It's like a neon kind of glowy thing. Shape is another one. I like how they utilize shape. They just use a bunch of rectangles. That's all. And it just looks cool. It's simple. This is not hard to make. It's just cool. It's like a collage. You just don't see this kind of stuff very often, so I guess it stands out. I've seen some of you guys work on projects that might take longer than this one. It stands out because it's different. They utilize shape well. Here's another similar one, maybe even simpler. And can Auburn High School do this kind of thing? Heck yeah. Here's one by a level 1 student right here that uses shape at least as well as the others did, So here's space. And space in the elements of art is not referring to outer space. It's just referring to, even though we're working on a flat canvas or printing to flat paper, it looks as though it has depth. It looks like it here, I'm going to do the thing off again real quick. Like this. Whoa, you're looking on a flat screen, but this room has depth. That's space. Okay, enough of that. So here, let me do the share screen. We're almost done, guys. Just calm down. Look, their hands are on top of the letters. The letters are on top of them. They're on top of a background that seems to have depth. It looks like there's depth there. That's space. There's another. They're on top of the letters. The letters sort of are on top of a background. Can Auburn High do that? Heck yes. These players are in front of the words. The words are in front of the football field. That has depth. It looks like it has depth. That was made by an advanced student named Jacob. That's enough for today. We'll get to the rest. Shall I continue? Yeah, here's just a highlight. Okay, movement. It doesn't necessarily mean literal movement. It means it moves your eye across the page. And so this does that. I mean, it's arguably actual movement too. Okay, that's probably enough. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Tomorrow there will be a cool thing about that. Okay, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all later.